Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Battle Royale Playcast. Today, we'll be talking about Robert's favorite movie of all time, Mortal Kombat.
1995.
19... Wait, really? Was it 1995?
Yep.
God, I'm old. Anyways, without my fear of mortality creeping up on me, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Mortal Kombat movie. Enough time has passed, so hopefully everyone has seen the movie. If you haven't, here's the gist of it. There's a tournament, people fight, new character added. Thank
There's
you.
no tournament.
There is no tournament. It's before the tournament, or even like
hmm
before anything happens. Um, so Robert says he doesn't like it. I know he
I
does.
don't. No, I don't.
I give it. I'll hold my rating until after the what we talk about. So
hmm
Mortal Kombat has been through some experiences. As you said, the first Mortal Kombat movie in 1995, and then
hmm
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the god awful Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Um,
Not
and
that bad.
I want to say Machinima did a couple Mortal Kombat online like
They did.
series like kind of thing that had going on.
Legacy.
Was it Mortal Kombat Legacy?
I believe that's what it's called.
Which is the one that had like Baraka in it, but like he was human and he was like a surgeon, and he
I
put
think that
blades.
was
Like,
Legacy.
yeah, it was so weird. God, that was weird. Like even by like a stamp of a Mortal Kombat, like they want to change something up. They're like, yeah, we're just
hmm
gonna make Baraka human, and he's gonna be,
A
he
crazy
kill.
doctor.
Yeah, he kills Johnny Cage, like in the fight.
Spoiler.
No, that's spoiler. Well, for whatever reason,
Spoiler.
Johnny Cage dies in the games and stuff like that. But now he's in 10. He's like main hero,
hmm
a pro tag, and he defeats Shinnok in armed combat. They shoot at him with guns, and he's like, haha, and he gets beat
You're
up. He's
getting
like,
off track here.
it deals with like the president of the thing is that Mortal Kombat hasn't exactly had the best track run movie wise, or trying to get like a TV show out there. They had a stage like a road kind of like stage thing going on. They had the cartoon. They had, I think it was called Mortal Kombat Conquest, and then they had another one where the guy from Tokyo Drift who plays the like the bad Drift King guy, him, he plays Liu Kang in there. So it hasn't really gone anywhere, and the new movie comes out, and yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So,
You
what's
weren't
up?
prepared to say all that, were you?
No, I
Yeah, I
was
figured.
no, I mean like I was prepared.
Oh, okay. It sounded like you weren't.
No, my allergies been acting up, and I'm trying not to sneeze
Oh, okay.
into the mic. The movie, I went there expecting Mortal Kombat esque goofiness. As soon as I saw how they did the thing on the wall, where it's like, oh look, it's not even spelled right.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I already
It's in the
immediately knew.
trailer.
Yeah, I immediately knew that this wasn't. It doesn't take itself too seriously. So I was perfectly fine with that. Mortal Kombat kind of goofy in some instances, especially since Johnny Cage is like comedic relief and stuff.
He's the comedic relief in the games.
So we don't actually see Johnny Cage. We actually start off with an original character for the movie, Ko Young,
Who
who
could have been Johnny Cage?
who you said actually was supposed to play somebody in some kind of Mortal
Kung Jin
Kombat.
in Mortal Kombat Legacy Chapter 3.
Yes, so he was supposed to be Kung Jin, which he could have pulled it off. I could have seen it. Johnny Young
hmm
Boss voices Kung Jin in the game.
He had a costume and everything. I believe they filmed it. They filmed season 3.
God, and they
It
can't release it,
exists.
right?
I don't believe so.
Anyways, so the movie is a little slow when it starts. Like it's no, not slow. It starts off how every Mortal Kombat intro starts off with Scorpion and Sub Zero fighting. Scorpion's a bad guy in this one. I had to sneeze. Give me a second.
Sub-Zero's a bad guy. Not Scorpion.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Sub Zero. Scorpion's usually the bad guy. Sub Zero is usually on Earthrealm side,
Yeah.
but they flip flopped it for I guess the sake of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
However, in 10 they start like, or at least in the reboot they start hinting at Scorpion not really being a bad guy, and in some of the games he wasn't necessarily a bad guy. Like he realizes he was tricked, but it's not mainly until 10 until they finally come together as like a unison team where Sub Zero and Scorpion are actually a team. They fight together, and their clans are now unified as one super ninja force. Or they respect each other's League of Clan of Assassins.
Sub-Zero's not a ninja.
Sub Zero is an assassin.
No, he's a. I forget what he's qualified as.
A ninja.
No, he's not a ninja.
He's a ninja.
So John Tobias himself has said he's not a ninja.
I've seen him do a Fortnite dance, Robert. I think he's a ninja.
I hate you.
No, but so that's okay, and it's good combat. I like it. Um, the one thing that
It's
bothered
fine.
me,
There's one part that bothers me.
I didn't like the kunai. The kunai looked too or the guardian tool looked too weapony. It looked like you would actually. It looked like it didn't look like it was a farming tool. It looked like the aftermath that you put into work to make a farming tool into a weapon. Like you would have taken a shovel and made it a tactical shovel kind of thing, right? That's the after work you get from making the thing. But that's just nitpicking. That's just like, it doesn't really look like uh, a gardening tool. It already looks like a weapon. So that's my tidbit. What's yours?
Oh, the choreography. Most of the fight scene, like that beginning fight scene, is fine, but it's in the trailer. Two Lin Kuei warriors strike at Hanzo, but they strike to the point, like in a way where both their blades cross before they even reach Hanzo, and he deflects them. And it's just odd. And then they act a bit like putties
Power Rangers.
from Power Rangers. They just stand around and like go one by one.
Yeah, the Bruce Lee, like, oh, we're gonna attack you, but the director said not to all attack at once because we could actually hurt you.
Yeah, and they don't fill the space. Like they don't have
Like they're not
it
doing like
doesn't
little
flow well.
flips.
hmm It's not very believable, but that's about it for that part.
I'm actually looking in whether or not are the Lin Kuei ninjas. Certain
They're
Lin Kuei
not
warriors possess supernatural ability. Yeah, but that's not are loosely based on from Chinese history. Ninjas are Japanese, therefore the Lin Kuei are not Lin. But what are they classified as?
warriors.
Just warrior. They are
hmm
mercenaries, assassins for hire. Okay, that makes sense. All right, they're mercenaries or assassins. I got it right. They're assassins.
Depending on who you ask.
Uh, one Mr. Ed Boom.
Okay,
I called him up. I know him. He's my uncle.
right.
He works at Midway. God, you remember
hmm
Midway? Holy crap!
You're getting off track again.
Sorry, I'm getting nostalgic. Um, the movie then pans over to Ko Young, who, if you haven't already guessed, and it kind of gives it away early on that he is a descendant of Hanzo Hasashi, Scorpion, and we're taking place in him getting his ass kicked in his first match, and it drops Eddie Tobias, like, obviously Ed Boom, and um, what's his full name? Is what's his Tobias's full name?
I literally just said it 2 seconds ago.
What
John
is it?
Tobias.
John Tobias. There we go. Um, his the references are cheeky, and I like it. I like the references that they put into there.
Yeah, they're fine.
Um, and the way they went with Cole Young, I didn't have a problem with it. Like
I did.
it's fine. It's just it kind of didn't really serve no purpose in the story.
He's a punching bag the entire time.
Other than him being like the chosen one, or like taking the space of Liu Kang, where he's the chosen one. He's a bloodline. Like his lineage lives through on like Scorpion,
hmm
and he is just there just for the sake of because Scorpion is his ancestors and stuff. So he has some connection to the Mortal Kombat tournament, and his invitation to like the Mortal Kombat tournament is passed on to him because of his bloodline. So that's it. That's all his thing is that that's his whole purpose. So Jack shows up after he got his ass beat and was like, "Oh, hey, check out my arms. They're pretty cool, right? I'm very attached to them, and I hope nothing happens to them." In other words, Shang Tsung is doing his shitty shit. It does follow the original like kind of storyline where they're kind of breaking the rules before the last tournament, even though they've already won all the other ones. They need to win one more tournament before they can claim Earthrealm as their own. So Shang Tsung's like, "Nah, I know we're winning, but like, fuck that noise. Go ahead and Sub Zero." I guess he just comes up with a name as soon as he talks to Shang Tsung. He's like, "Bihan." He's like, "Nope, no, no. My name is Sub Zero because it sounds cool." And pretty much he's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Just go find the rest of Earthrealm's champions and kill them." How he knows who the Earthrealm champions are is beyond me. I don't think they ever explain how he knows them already, unless magic. I'm not entirely too sure how that works.
It's never explained.
But yeah, so Sub Zero shows up. Jax is like, "Hey, get in the car. We gotta go. Yeah, your birthmark. It's not really a birthmark. It's actually an invitation. Only Ko Young is born with it though. Like he already has one. Everyone else has to earn one. And the only way you get it is I think if you're chosen for it, or
You
if
have
you
to be a
kill,
chosen one.
or if you kill
Or if you
somebody
kill a chosen one.
who has it, then you prove that you're better than that person, and then the mark
Jax
gets
getting
transferred to
his
you.
makes no sense. Or Jax having his makes no sense. They explain it in the film, but to me it makes no sense.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll get
Go
to
ahead,
that
explain
later.
it.
Oh, okay. So Sonya mentions Sonya shows up eventually. She mentioned that her and Jax were on a mission with Spec Ops, hunting down someone with special powers. Jax ends up killing him, and the mark transfers over to Jax. Although Jax can kill someone with powers, without having powers himself, makes kind of no sense.
Well, yeah, like so the whole purpose of the marking is just like an extended invitation to it, and like I can see how it could have been a fluke because some of them like I don't think he knew too much about how his powers worked, or if he knew how to use them. I don't think it doesn't really explain. It's just kind of like half-assed, like, "Oh yeah, he beat him, no problem."
They mentioned the guy had powers, so like I assume
Yeah, but it never really
the guy
said
was
if
showing
he.
off his powers.
Yeah,
It
I
would
don't.
have been more believable if they mentioned who it was, and it could have been like a jobber from like a past game.
Yeah, like Su Hao or something, like or another
Yeah,
assassin, like I don't know, Cobra.
yeah, someone like dumb.
Yeah. So, but Jax explains to him. He stops Sub Zero, or like he stops because Sub Zero's there. There's a cheeky little Easter egg in the back of one of the
Where
one of
they're
the
fighting in
walls.
the
Yeah, there's like a combo like button
down
like
forward low punch, which is how you do Sub Zero's ice ball in
and
every game.
what was cool is that how Jax was gonna shoot him and he
hmm
stops the bullets
Yeah, he freezes the barrel of the gun,
and
and you see
he
the bullets protrude, but they like slow down.
yeah like how he like just punches the gun and it shatters. And
hmm
something I noticed is when Sub Zero hit Liu Kang with the ice ball,
hmm
something dawned on me that didn't really do it when I was playing the game. So in the games when he hits you with the ice, it freezes you in place.
Yep.
But realistically, if he threw one at you, it probably just knocked you down.
Yeah, it would shatter on impact probably,
Yeah,
and
so
like
it made
push you
sense
back.
when Liu Kang got hit by the ice ball.
hmm
It was just a ball of ice he just chucked at him. He wasn't
Yep.
actually freezing him.
hmm
So that made a lot of sense, and I'm just like, oh yeah, no shit, that wouldn't freeze you. That would just knock you back.
Yep.
Uh, but Sub Zero ends up freezing Jax's arms and breaking them, and obviously, you know who Jax is. That's how he gets his arms. Not how he gets his arms, but he gets. Yeah, I get to that a little bit. So the movie continues, and Sonya Blade shows up. Because Jax was like, "Hey, go find Sonya Blade. She knows what's going on." And Ko Young shows up, tells him, "Hey, it's me. I'm the chosen one." Which I don't know how she doesn't know who he is when she has pictures of him and they were following him.
Yeah, they have pictures of him.
Yeah,
You see
like
them.
yeah, it's like how do you not know who that is? And I don't think they knew. And you know what I just noticed? Shang Tsung
hmm
never shapeshifts in the entire movie either.
He doesn't.
He never takes on another form.
He's not very threatening.
I mean, he kind of looks like Bobby Lee, a little bit like
A little
Bobby
bit.
Lee's uncle.
Hmm.
So he shows up, and Kano's already there. Kano's talking. Kano is probably like the best portrayal of Kano I've ever seen. Like from how he was before and how they could have just got some random jobber to do a fake Australian accent,
Yeah.
but they did it, and Kano was perfect. That was a perfect Kano.
Josh Lawson's back must hurt from carrying the movie.
You read that Summers, didn't you?
Yep.
um. So it goes through them explaining like, oh, it's this tournament. Like in every culture, like in everything, there's always talk of a tournament, and that's when like you see an Easter egg of Nightwolf, like or the
And
name of his
Kodokan.
tribe, and yeah, and Kodokan.
You see
So
a bust of Kodokan. Or at
yeah,
least an
I think it
Oshtek.
was a gold bust. I think it was in one of the pictures, and he tells him, oh, this morning, this blah blah blah, this tournament, they could even spell combat right. It's spelled with the K and whatnot and what forth, and Kano's just there being whatever, and then I'm assuming when Reptile shows up, it's I don't know if it's the race of Reptile, like if it's just
It's
like
actual reptile.
or
I looked into it.
is it legit Reptile?
Size off. It's reptile.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with him being lizard or like
He's been a lizard in the games
yeah,
before.
he's been a lizard again. What I would have loved to see was instead of him being naked, I
If he
wanted
had like
this.
his actual
Yeah, so
outfit.
here's
Or
how
like
I
something close to it.
yeah here's how I wanted it to look. A little like Sub Zero's, only no sleeves, and instead of it being like metal armor, it was like crocodile leather style scaly
Like
armor,
scaled, yeah.
and it was just a very dark green, and like he didn't have to have a helmet either. He could have just been like wearing armor and give him a little bit more of a humanoid kind of like look to him, and
Mm-hmm.
have him do some karate moves like him doing the invisibility in the acid. That was pretty cool. That was
Yeah.
badass, and you do get a weird little Sonya Blade spin thing that she does where she ends up on her
She does
feet.
a horizontal spin where her feet completely leave the ground. She's like completely horizontal to the ground, yet she somehow lands standing up. And that's not really a problem with the cinematography because it looks cool. It's just the editing. They cut it weird.
Yeah, it looks weird. I think they cut out the part like the transition to when she was finally landing to just been like
Well,
she
she wouldn't land on her feet.
yeah like I think there was like a few steps in there that were
Cut out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when when that happens, Kano does this thing where they kind of like stab Reptile in the heart, and Kano just like
He does his
punches.
classic finisher.
Yeah, he does his classic finish. He punches him through a heart, and he says Kano wins.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very cheeky. I liked it too because he's kind of like giddy about it, and like the heart is in his hand.
Yeah, and it's still pumping.
And when that happens, they're like, oh, there's a fire because they stabbed them with the flare. We're gonna hire you to take us to Radiant's temple, which we don't know where it's at. Another nitpick: Radiant's temple is usually a sky temple. Like
Yeah.
it's only I think it's only accessible by Raiden, where he teleports people.
Radiant teleportation.
Because he shows in the movie where he can take people different places. He can teleport people to different areas, and when he does that, it looks cool. I like the
He does his
transition.
classic hand in the sky pose. When he
Yeah,
teleport.
and the powers look pretty good. Like Liu Kang's fire looked really well. It didn't look too like CGI. It looked like legit like
Yeah, some
fire.
parts look a little iffy to me, but for the most part, they look pretty well done.
Yeah, so they managed to get to Radiant Sky Temple to convince Kano that they'll pay him to take him there.
Mm-hmm.
So they get there. They're lost in the desert. They're looking around, and out of nowhere, Liu Kang shows up. However,
Yep.
I'm gonna chalk that up to Raiden knowing where they're at all the time.
And if he did, he could probably just teleport Liu Kang to him or teleport them to him,
Yeah, and
which is dumb. I don't know why he doesn't do it.
I don't know. I don't know either, cause
They needed to fill out the runtime.
well, I think there's certain rules that Raiden can do. I think he just doesn't go around just teleporting shit around.
He absolutely could.
Let's not dwell on it, because the more we dwell on it, the more the movie falls apart.
I mean, I know why the movie falls apart. the writers. One of them worked on Wonder Woman 1984, and that movie is a goddamn mess. The other one's a brand new writer who has never written anything before
It's fine.
in terms of big quality productions.
So they show up and they get introduced to the monastery, the temple, of what they have, and usually
It's a goddamn Shaolin temple.
the Shaolin, yeah, they're usually called the White Lotus Society or the White Lotus, and the monks usually operate at a base temple and Radiant's up like above everyone else.
Yeah, he watches over.
Whatever. It's just that's my little nitpick. They go in there and you do see a couple of Easter egg items there. You have Quan Chi's medallion that he carries around. Quan Chi usually has it. Like Quan Chi wears it on his.
Shinnok's medallion, so
Quan Chi steals it. Quan Chi uses it during the most duration of the games. Quan Chi has it.
Yeah, but I recognize it as Shinnok, so I'm gonna call it Shinnok. Either way, it's a medallion from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, so he has Kano's trying to steal and everything, and Raiden's like, "Look at you, ragtag group of fuck ups, all of you.
Raiden's a dick in this movie.
You're all butt babies. Yeah, I can roundhouse kick every single one of you." Like,
he calls everyone a failure, basically.
Yeah, he's like, "You don't even have a mark. You don't have powers, and you're just fucking, I don't know. Like you don't want to be here. You don't know what's going on."
Cole gets shit out of him all the time. One of them's a drunken bastard. The other one doesn't have a mark. So essentially, is his problems.
And so they get to him, right, and they start explaining to him how they do the fireballs and everything. And he tells them the mark. It's trying to justify everyone having powers in the game,
which you don't need to do in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, like you don't. They're just whatever. It's just something they know how to do.
Just give them their powers, like.
So apparently, the mark of the dragon gives you an arcana. Depending on who it is, your arcana would be different. However,
but it doesn't automatically manifest.
Yeah, you have to bring forth. The only one who's very uncertain is I was very uncertain for was Cole Young's because he's new. I don't know what his powers are, but everyone else is self-explanatory. Everyone gets their things.
If you know the games, you know what the powers are. Yeah.
Yeah. So they tell them we're here to train you for the Mortal Kombat tournament. Then Sonya Blade somehow finds Jax, and Jax's arms are missing, obviously because they got shattered. Yep. And here's what bothered me again. How the hell do the monks know how to attach cybernetic technology to Jax's arms? Are they just like they're like this?
Well, Jax has been there for a while, so they could have been under guidance of Raiden.
Well, because think about it, like Raiden's like these two are Shaolin monks, but they have graduated from MIT. They're actually really good engineers that I picked up off of Craigslist. So let's have it. they're here to attach these two Jax's arms.
Yeah.
So they look really skinny.
Weird baby arms.
Yeah, they give them like weird spindly, but that's for a reason. And they're trying to train everybody.
It doesn't need to be that reason, but whatever.
So they're trying to train everybody, and Shang Tsung shows up, trying to fuck everyone up. And
apparently Shang Tsung can just anyone can basically invade Raiden's temple.
Yeah, like there's not really much stopping them except for a weird hidden door.
Yeah, there's a weird stone door.
So Liu Kang tries to go in and take out Sub-Zero, but he kind of gets knocked back, and Kung Lao shows up. But the way Kung Lao shows up looks a little weird. Like he shows up fast, and it's
Kung Lao uses his power once.
He teleports in. Yeah, he shows, but it looks a little weird when he does it though. Like I guess the CGI kind of looks a little.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that.
So that happens. Once he shows up, he helps him out, and he's like, "Yeah, he's Kung Lao, descendant of the great Kung Lao, who, in the games he won one of the Mortal Kombat.
500 years ago.
Yeah, he won one of the Mortal Kombat tournaments, and he's defeated Goro. That Kung Lao has defeated Goro, and in the movie he's a descendant of a great hero. So they start training them. Cole gets his ass kicked a few times, and Rand's like, "Go home. You don't belong here. You have no arcana. You're a liability. Get out of here."
Yeah, you're not getting your powers. You suck. Get out of here.
Yeah, because Kano gets his powers from them picking on him.
And there's a great dinner scene actually, because Liu Kang, Kung Lao don't have a lot of character or character development in this. They're pretty stale.
Yeah, you just know they're Shaolin monks. That's it.
Yeah, and all Liu Kang does is Shaolin poses the entire time. But the dinner scene where they egg on Kano, They're just picking on him basically, and like the rage that Kano gets kind of unleashes his Arcana, and he finally shoots his eye laser,
which
which
is
is pretty nice.
which is pretty cool. But like, even when he's seen Kano and all the other ones, he actually has half cybernetics in his eyeball.
Eventually he'll probably get them.
I mean, we don't know.
I
So
mean, yeah.
what happens is that all that does is he's just like, "Oh, get out of here! You don't belong. You're a butt baby." But in the meantime, Shang Tsung's like, "Well, let's see everyone else." Because you've already seen Sub Zero, you've already seen Melina.
Which
Now
I
he's
have my gripes about Melina as well.
now he brings up General Reiko,
Who I also have gripes about. I have gripes about everyone in this movie.
Nitara, Cabal. Cabal was perfect. Cabal was really good, and he sounded
Cabal was
exactly.
almost perfect to me.
And he was like, he's an asshole, and like when he's like, you're gonna love him.
He would have been great if he never talked in the movie.
I like the way he talked because like you
He
can barely hear him,
sounds
and like
like
he
an
does.
Italian douchebag. He sounds like he's from Jersey Shore.
I mean that checks out.
Not really.
Well, actually, in 9, he actually because like someone pointed out that he has Striker's badge.
I pointed it out to you.
Oh, was that you? I don't remember. You told me a lot of stuff.
Yes, he has Striker's badge on his ribs. Of his on the side of his, he wears a vest, like a tactical vest, and he wears Striker's badge on his ribs. You never see it. You have to pause on like one frame.
Yeah, because like you think I expect you to remember like half the show? Like you like sometimes you send me a hashtag Team Pussy, hashtag
Yep.
Big Poop Gang. The last thing is like one of the last random hashtags you sent me, and I can't remember half the BS you sent me. Anyways, so in
But
9
yeah,
they actually have something like towards that where he's Striker's partner. Like he's actually part of the police force with Sonya Blade and Jax, and he gets up burned alive by Kitaro, I think it's
I don't remember.
yeah, and he actually becomes an Earthrealm fighter. Like he fights on the side of Earthrealm.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Elf Realm.
Elf realm, Earth world. So they're like, okay, cool. We know where they're at. Let's see if we can trick one of them. Not trick one of them. Like one of them's a piece of shit. So they
Yeah,
convince
Kano.
Kano.
Cabal informed Shang Tsung about Kano and how he's a douchebag, and he will do anything for money.
Yeah. So he was like, hey, he's like, Shang Tsung can give you whatever you want. He's like, you know your fee, double it, and then double it again.
You'll have a casino.
Yeah, you can make great. Like he makes all these promises to him, and
Mm-hmm.
Kano's like, all right, I'm in. We ends up, getting rid of the barrier, and everyone shows up, and Goro shows up to go beat the crap out of Ko Young,
Yeah,
who seen his family get, in danger, ends up summoning his Arcana, which I thought was pretty badass.
this is stupid as well.
I loved it. I liked it
I
how
hated it.
how goofy it. The armor itself looked badass. I kind of like the
The armor looks fine. It looks like a wicker basket
it
of gold.
it's basically because in the movies you see Scorpion come out and he's the handle of the kunai that he or the rope dart thing that he uses, the spear. He usually it's being like wrapped around the handle of like this golden thread wrapping around
That
the handle.
only happens because horsepower
Yeah.
manifesting.
So it that's what it looks like, and it just like it looks.
But when you actually use it, it doesn't have the golden wrap.
Yeah, like it has the design where it looks like it's kind of weird. Like, yeah, kind of had to see it, and I don't know what the guidelines are for us using movie footage
Right.
from it, so I'm not gonna chance it.
Mm-hmm.
But Goro shows up and is getting ready to beat him up. Everyone at the temple is getting the shit kicked out of them. Melina's beating the crap out of Sonya Blade, and Kano shows up to beat the crap out of them. Kung Lao is, doing his best. He actually kills Nitara with one of his fatalities from the games, where he
Yeah,
throws
that's
his
why I was
hat.
only there just to screech and die.
Yeah, like he throws his hat on the ground. It looks pretty cool, and he says flawless victory.
Mm-hmm.
So what's more important? What I thought was more crazier was when Cole Young gets his Arcana, he goes and breaks one of Goro's arms,
Yep.
like super
You know, the new
easily,
character just treats Prince Goro
like a
like
jobber.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, never been defeated in 500 years.
he goes up and he beats the crap out of him, and
Yeah.
also his Arcana allows him to summon weapons,
For whatever reason.
which I don't know why he has weapons. He would have been perfectly fine with just the armor.
His powers are unclear, basically.
So
They're all over the place.
he has like a tonfa, one of them, and a bladed variation.
They're double bladed. Double tonfas are both bladed.
So he ends up slicing open, Goro. He beats Goro.
Yep.
And then he shows up to Raiden's temple to help everyone out, only to see Kunal get his what sucked? I can't remember. What was it, Robert? What was he getting to suck?
He's about to get his soul sucked. Said by Cabal.
Yeah, Cabal
in his Jersey Shore accent.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, he's about to get his soul sucked.
It's such a horrible line. I love it.
Sorry, there was an asshole racing by.
I heard that for a split second.
Yeah, sorry about that. The pacing. This is where the pacing gets a little weird.
The pacing is weird the entire movie.
Yeah, but this
so
is
slow.
It even gets weirder because it's like, oh crap, I'm running out of time. Okay, I'm gonna take you to the void. This is a void, between dimensions or Earth realm and other realms. A loading screen.
It's a pause screen, yeah.
So, Liu Kang has to deal with the fact that Kung Lao's dead.
Yep.
Kano betrayed them. Their team has been crippled. And during the matches, during the whole fight, Jax and Sonya get knocked over the side of the area where they were fighting. And since Jax has those little spindly arms,
he has his dumb baby arms.
So he's trying to pick a statue up of a Sonya blade, and this is where his Arcana shows up,
which is unnecessary again.
So his little skinny arms start glowing purple, and they manifest into
the big arms you see.
Yeah, the big badass robotic arms you see, and he throws it off. Now, see, my only problem is that how. But then I remember Kano gets a laser eye, so I'm not going to question it. Just know that he gets his arms that way. Now, I would have been perfectly fine if Jax had some kind of he already had the arms, but they were powered down. There was nothing fueling them. They didn't know how to fuel them.
Yeah.
And his Arcana was the energy based thing, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. So he gets his Arcana. Everyone has their Arcanas already, and now they're gonna do the Mortal Kombat style thing where they're gonna split everyone up and have them fight. Everyone else. Jax and Reiko.
They get paired up with certain enemies. Yeah.
So
Jax versus Reiko.
He's on an arena that you can actually see in the game.
They're in the pit.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off. So, Reiko is in the movie. All he does is swing a hammer and scream. He could have been replaced by any character or any other actor, and the movie would have been no different. Anyways, Jax defeats Reiko on the pit, iconic stage, and he doesn't do a stage fatality. You don't fight on the pit and not do stage fatality.
Yeah, so Jax does do one of his fatalities.
He does his classic fatality, the double head smash or double. What do you call it?
I call it the head clap. I used to call it the
head clap is pretty much what I'd call it.
So he does that. However, here's how I would have liked it going.
Stage fatality.
Yeah, Reiko goes in for the punch. He goes in for the hammer.
Any other jobber.
Yeah, he breaks the hammer, hits Reiko in the face with it. Reiko tries to punch him. Jax grabs his arm with one hand, breaks it, does the move where he grabs him by the neck and does gotcha, and punches him 5 times in the face, and then holds him over the pit. Lets go of him just for a slight. As soon as he's letting go of him, his other fist is coming. Punch Reiko right in the face for the 6th shot and knock him over the pit onto the spikes. That's how I would have done that scene.
No, they were running out of time. Remember, they couldn't do all that.
Well, it could have been a few quick punches. He could have ran in there, suplexed him, picked him up over his shoulders, kind of do that backbreaker thing he does in 9.
Yeah.
Or the reboot Mortal Kombat, and throw him, break his arm, do the gotcha, and then the last punch from the gotcha is him punching him into the pit.
I would have preferred if that entire scene was unchanged up until the fatality. Because if you notice, there's a really nice detail there where Reiko does the groggy stand where he's like, where they stand there and they spin their head.
Oh yeah, like he gets up and he's dazed.
Yeah, he does that like dazed stand. So right then he could have just done the uppercut.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
knocked him
okay,
into
no,
the
that's a good
pit.
detail. Okay, the gotcha, instead of knocking him into the pit, he does the gotcha into the daze, and he does the uppercut.
Yeah, as long as he did the uppercut, I would have been fine with it.
But he
Or that
didn't.
would have made it perfect. That fight scene.
Yeah, like I would have been better, like if they kept Reptile around, like that was just one of like his little offlings, and the real
Mm-hmm.
Reptile shows up and he fights somebody in the living forest. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then again, they're on Earthrealm, so I guess it kind of wouldn't work out.
They
So
could have
I,
made that earlier fight Chameleon. You know, the one of them that no one cares about.
you have a point. Yeah, they could have done that. Um, so you get Liu Kang's dragon fatality.
The CGI on the dragon itself kind of looked iffy for me for a
Um,
split second. It's not
yeah,
on screen for very
it's
long.
nothing too crazy, but it's no, not nothing too crazy. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. It's nothing too noticeable. Like it's
Unless
fine.
you look for it.
Yeah, unless because like me and Robert look for those things.
I tore this movie apart.
Yeah, we can't help it. Sometimes we can't help it. Like we've been like fine tuning our eyeballs for it. So, um, Melina shows up when she's fighting Cole Young, and like Sonya Blade shows up because during her fight with Kano, she kills him and gains the marking. And
Right, we never talked about that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like we mentioned, everyone gets teleported to their own fights. Uh, we talked about the Jax one. Sonya gets teleported to her trailer to fight Kano, and she does it in a very smart way. She has like little traps, like trap doors
Her
in her
trailer.
floor. Yeah, so she's like sneaking around using her special forces like skills, slashing his ankles and whatnot. She throws a bottle of chemicals at his eye, and for some reason his eye short circuits. Like if there's already mechanics in it, which kind of took me out of it. I'm like, I don't know why your eye would short circuit, but whatever. And earlier, when they're leaving the trailer, Kano spits on a garden gnome on the hand, kind of like marking it. So as soon as Kano's getting the upper hand, he starts choking her out from behind. She reaches down, grabs the gnome, and jams it into his laser eye and kills him that way. So
Right
the
on the laser eye.
his his dragon marking transfers onto her, and she gets her Arcana automatically.
Which is the little laser. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, she gets her little laser rings.
So, she shows up and beats Melina.
Yeah, she shows up and just blasted her right through the I
So
guess spine.
that's two wins for Sonya Blade.
Earthrealm. And yeah, and Sonya Blade herself.
Yeah,
Three wins
so
for Earthrealm. No, four.
it's all up to
Four.
Ko Young because now he has to fight Sub Zero.
Yep, and they go to his gym. Whoa, no, we didn't mention this. Sub-Zero shows up while everyone's fighting. He shows up to Cole's house and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
kidnaps his family and takes them to the gym where Ko Young fights. And yeah,
They're slowly dying because he has them frozen to
yeah,
the
they're
front.
frozen. They're slowly dying.
And Ko Young shows up to fight him, and for whatever reason, during like the fight, Raiden gives Ko Young
Before the fight,
before the fight, before they teleport her, they give him the kunai that
the kunai that belongs to Scorpion
well
or
before
Hanzo.
Hanzo before because when he shows up because he's trying to free his family and like Ko Young's not really focusing.
Yeah, he doesn't show up to fight. He just shows up and like starts punching the ice. And
Yeah,
something happens. That's what it is. He has his little tonfas, and he's like breaking the ice with them. So Sub-Zero freezes them and shatters them, and like he starts punching the ice with his bare fist. And something happens after that, but the camera cuts away, and then it cuts back, and he has his tonfas again.
yeah, which is well, I'm pretty sure I'm assuming that he can if they break he can just make them again. It just takes
But
focus.
he tried it. Yeah, I mean he tried it, and like it wasn't working. And the camera cuts away, comes back, and he has them. I'm like, okay,
Oh yeah, that's
sure.
weird. So during the fight when Sub Zero's about to like whoop on him, he does something with
Mhm.
the dagger, and I think his blood gets on the dagger. If I remember correctly, or something
I think
happens.
he tries to take it out and stab Sub-Zero with it,
And
and Sub-Zero reverses and tries stabbing him.
yeah,
So Ko Young grabs it, and the blood gets on the dagger or on the kunai.
and that was enough to summon.
Yeah, the blood of the Hanzo
You know,
bloodline.
so he was able to come back, and he's like, "I'm not Hanzo anymore. I'm Scorpion." So they start fighting, which was pretty cool. I like the fight, and
Yeah.
I love the blood thing where he does with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts beating them up, and they start fighting. And Ko Young's trying to free his.
He doesn't go to help Scorpion. He goes to try to free his family again.
Yeah, he tries to go free him, and then so the fight moves towards the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and Hanzo gets a flashback of like his family seeing them frozen,
Yeah, he sees the family frozen. He gets a flashback of his own family.
and that sets him off. And they both double team Sub-Zero, and Scorpion does his classic fatality.
Or
Where
first he does the get over here, and that's how they get in the ring.
yeah, but like I don't want to get too much of it
Which,
because like I want them to go watch it because it looks a little
yeah,
dumb.
I mean it's in the trailer. But if you notice in the trailer, they use Hiroyuki Sanada's voice, so he sounds Asian when he says "get over here." However, in the final film, they change it to sound more like the classic Ed Boon version.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
everyone
he
did the
doesn't
get
sound
over
Asian.
here,
Mm-hmm.
which was I never knew that until I saw a clip of it like
Yeah,
a few years ago. I was like, oh, Dang.
yeah.
But they end up double team him, and Scorpion does his classic fatality where he rips off like his mask. And how it usually worked was that his whole entire skull like was on fire, like it looked like it was a Ghost Rider thing, but
Mm-hmm.
only half his like his mouth was like,
His lower half becomes a skull. Yeah.
and he starts blowing the fire back on, and he puts on the mask back on.
This part pisses me off because he takes off his mask to do his toasty fatality, and then he puts the mask on, and then he takes it off, and then he turns to Cole and he goes, "For the Shirai Ryu," and then he puts it back on, and he looks at someone else, and he says something else, and then he puts it back on. Like he takes it off like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and another side
And
note: why the hell was it in English? You mentioned that.
yeah, he says for the Shirai Ryu in English or Shirai Ryu, and Bihan also says for the Lin Kuei in English. They don't speak a lick of English in this entire film, except for that.
No, doesn't he say my name is
Oh.
Sub-Zero?
Oh, that, yeah.
It's fine. It's whatever. So they beat him, right?
It's bad writing,
Hey,
is what it is.
like, hey, Earthrealm's, champions have been, or no, Earthrealm's champions been successful, and Outworld's, fighter champions have been defeated. And Shang Tsung's like, oh, you won't get rid of me this easily, you butt baby. And Raiden's like, shut up, go home.
Actually, he's like, oh, Earthworld instead of Earthrealm for whatever reason. But he gets cut off, and Raiden teleports him back to, I assume, Outworld?
Yeah.
And it's like, why didn't you do that the entire time?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming because they don't have any more fighters, so I don't know. I don't know what the dealio is with all that.
Again, bad writing.
Yeah.
They
so
needed something to make a film out of.
yeah. So the movie goes to where, oh hey, happy ending. Everybody's going off to go do their own thing and stuff, and they're like, we need more
Yeah.
champions. We need more people because this is not over yet. Those were only like, because like Shang Tsung was like, I'm gonna come back with a set of fighters. I'm gonna
He's
come
like, oh
back
yeah,
with
I'll be
army.
back.
Whatever. And he's like,
Mhm.
yeah, okay, whatever you say, you butt baby. And like, the fucking train is so loud today.
Is it? I don't hear it. I hear a ton of other things right now.
Okay, let's just wrap this up before it gets like too crazy. So everyone's doing their own
I
thing.
have so many more notes I want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, let's just get the base of the movie. So he finishes up, and they're like, everyone's gonna get tasked with like finding a certain champion, and
Mm-hmm.
Ko Young's packing up. The guy who usually has him there working, and he tells him, "Hey, I got this thing going on." He's like, "Nah, I can't do it no more. I'm not. That's not." He's like, "Oh, where are you gonna go?" He's like, "I'm gonna go to Hollywood." Like, where are you going? He's like,
Yeah.
"Well, it's not." He's like, "What are you gonna?" I forget what he tells him. He's like, "It's not." What is like? It's who?
He goes, I'm done fighting for $200 a night. He's like, oh, cool, you're moving on to something else. What do you have next? And he's like, "Oh, going to Hollywood."
Oh no, he's like, what's in Hollywood?
Yeah.
And he tells him not what, who.
Who?
And he passes up a movie poster that has Johnny Cage's name on it, and
Citizen Cage, is
yeah,
that what it's called?
Citizen Cage.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And there have been like a couple of like people wanting like to do Johnny Cage.
Hmm.
I say the fucking Miz. The Miz can pull it off. The Miz is enough of a douchebag and comedic relief to be
The
Johnny
Miz
Cage.
has, yeah, put himself up to play Johnny Cage, along with Ryan Reynolds, also
Wanted to
apparently in the
be.
running.
So um the movie like ends there, or like all as like he because it just shows the last bit of being Johnny Cage.
Yeah, it teases Johnny Cage.
So all overall, like actually, you know what? Again, we're not done yet. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it. You have notes that you took.
I have a ton of notes that I took.
All right, let's
All
do
right,
this.
let me get them out real quick. I have them right here. Just okay. I started out with, yo, this shit starts off with a banger because it starts with a fight between Hanzo and Bihan. Yeah, Bihan.
Yes, Bihan.
Holy shit, Sub-Zero's ice looks good. Because in the old movies, it looks like Mr. Freeze, like plastic ice.
Yeah,
Raiden is a dick because he is. He's such a douchebag in this movie. He talks so much crap,
yeah.
and like he doesn't help at all. Even though he's like, oh, I can't get involved, and then he gets involved in sometimes, but then other times he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna watch. Outworld looks whack as shit. It's just a dry, arid desert,
Well,
which
that's some of
in
Outworld.
most cases it is, but in the original games and like the original, even in the original movie, it looks so much cooler. It's like purple and green, and like so many different colors blending together, and it makes it kind of mysterious. Which they could have gone that route, and I would have preferred if they did. Spice it up a little bit.
Like Constant Storm, and you know
Yeah,
the fact is that it's a realm of like
it,
complete weirdness.
yeah, and this is just like people in the desert just walking around. Like, okay. Um, I've already talked about this. Doesn't make sense that Bihan says for the Lin Kuei in a language that he neither speaks nor understands.
I would have at that time when Hanzo and
Yeah, at the time of Hanzo versus uh Bihan. The Lin Kuei attack for no the reason they attack is not given or hinted at ever. Because Bihan and Lin Kuei are Chinese. And, Shira, you're Japanese. So why would the Lin Kuei be in Japan? Unless they were hired, I suppose. Because like you said, they're assassins. But he specifically says for the Lin Kuei, like if what they're doing is right in their beliefs, like if they're wrong, then they're getting revenge for something.
yeah, like there was really no motivation for them to like attack the
Yeah.
the Shiryu because like in the old ones it's like they just had a rivalry.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they're just warring ninja clans. That's it.
Yeah, and
In
again, like
this
I mentioned
one,
before, like other ones, they're like the first time around they were tricked, or Quan Chi
mm-hmm.
tricks them into something happens.
Quan Chi tricks uh, Hanzo into believing that Bihan attacked.
Yeah, like even in 9, he tells him he's like, "Wait, Scorpion, please." He's like, "That wasn't me. That it wasn't like that wasn't me." And even
That ain't
because
how
like
I roll, G.
yeah, and because like Bihan later becomes Noob Saibot.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Um, the movie breaks the show don't tell rule with a black screen covered in text explaining the Mortal Kombat rules and tournaments that happened before, which they could have done like a flashback scene
Yeah,
to like explain the lore, but whatever. Uh, Shang Tsung has a weird voice modulation, so like his voice you hear it like doubled, like an echo sort of,
yeah.
except for in one scene where like they just forgot to put it in. It's so weird. Ko Young has literally the same backstory as Johnny Cage. You could just change his name, and he'd be exactly the same character, except for the
not,
fact that he's not an actor.
not really, not really.
He's a down in his luck person, just like Johnny Cage is. The only difference is Johnny Cage is an actor.
Well, Johnny Cage was an actor who was trying his best to be a martial artist.
Yeah, but he's also down on his luck. and out of touch.
No, not necessarily. Like
Yes, he is.
he was still a big star. But the fact is that they're like, oh, he's like, no, I'm a real martial artist. He's like, nah, that's just your fake whatever style thing. He's like, no, he's like, I can prove to everybody that I'm not some like fake martial artist. Because like even in the first Mortal Kombat movie, that guy is reading a tabloid magazine about him being a fraud, like a fake martial artist. So he's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna join this tournament. He's like, I'm gonna prove to everyone that I'm a fighter. I'm not just some, you know, douche nozzle. Judd Cole Young is just a down on his luck fighter who doesn't seem to like know what he's fighting for.
Yeah,
What
but
am
I'm
I
speaking in
fighting
terms of the
for?
original games.
Well,
He's a washed up actor who wants to
like
be taken seriously.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't think like in the later ones he's not really washed up. He's just that
No, he is.
cliche. He's a cliche like oh
He's trying to
like
live his
Ninja
glory
Mine.
days. Like he keeps bringing up references to his old movies. Like, yeah, I'm still great.
He's like, I'm still a badass. So and like there's
Yeah.
also a subtle tone shift too to where Johnny Cage becomes the main.
Yeah, he becomes the hero.
So and apparently his family lineage is actually from some ancient tribe, and
Yeah,
that's how he's able to use his little glowy little.
his green
Woo.
goo.
Yeah.
Um, Cole Young's daughter gives him a bracelet that she weaves, a black and yellow bracelet, and Cole's armor forms from the bracelet, which I thought was dumb as shit. It's just goofy.
Okay.
There's a line that I don't like. You see it in the trailer, uh, where Jax is like, "Oh, that's a cool symbol. Can I see it?" And his daughter, Cole's daughter, is like, "He was born with it." Jax, what do you mean? Cole's daughter, it's a birthmark. Like that's the dumbest writing ever. Like, of course it's a birthmark. He was born with it. What do you? It's
Well,
dumb.
I think the idea was like, wait, what do you mean he has a dragon mark and birthmark? Like
I
it's
guess
more
that's what they were
skeptical.
implying,
It was more of a skeptical
but
kind of thing because like from what I think from what Jax is seeing is that nobody's born with it. I don't think he's aware that he's like, well, there's no way he was born with it. He said because
yeah,
I
I
got
get
mine
that's the
from
point. But like, the line delivery and the writing itself is kind of dumb.
yeah
Sub-Zero is a shitty assassin, warning his targets with snow and ice literally every time he shows up. It's the middle of July and it starts snowing.
yeah. That's the first thing they even recognize. Like, what the hell is going on? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh well, my cover's blown. Shit. And it's not nothing to do with him everywhere he walks because like he shows up places and nothing freezes over.
And
That's
then
just him showing off.
he has to summon it, yeah.
So
I already talked about this kind of. The dragon markings are dumb as shit. You can have one, not have a power, and then you get killed and transfer to someone else, and they get a cool power.
So one thing I want to mention though is that in the Machinima Mortal Kombat Legacy thing, so
Mm-hmm.
there was a thing where Liu Kang actually was part of the Outworld Fighters.
Oh yeah,
So here's the thing though. The reason why they have their powers is because like only in Outworld could you use your powers. You can't do it in Earthrealm, which is
Yeah.
bullshit because everyone does use their powers in Earthrealm.
yeah.
What are you laughing for?
No, because I hadn't thought about it that way. I just like you, because you never call out dumb things, and hearing you call out something stupid is fun.
Yeah, because they the only reason why like they have it in like Earthrealm is because I'm assuming that it's a fighter chi based thing where it's like there's a god of lightning, so I wouldn't doubt that these
Yeah.
people could use this thing. And the dragon marking, as dumb as it does give like a simple dumbed down explanation why everyone has powers, which you kind of didn't really
Yeah.
need everyone to
You
have
can
powers.
be a businessman doing your 9 to 5 job and have a marking like so dumb.
All right, go on. What were you saying?
The next line of thought that I had was Jax thinks he can take out a cryomancer with a shotgun. What a dumbass.
Well, he doesn't. He's. I don't think he's a because I think pretty sure that's how it worked for him
He
last time.
knows the fucker has ice powers.
Yeah, but I think he was just aware that last time he took someone out like this worked because I'm saying because we were talking
Well,
about
we
how
don't know
Goro
how he took him out.
yeah, I'm assuming because we were talking about Goro, like what if Goro showed up and Cole Young just like, oh shit, and pulls out a double barrel and shoots him in his stomach, and Goro's like, whoa, guns are prohibited. And he's just on the ground bleeding.
Yeah.
He's like, someone call my mom.
Which I have a thing about that later. This is actually praise from me. The Sub-Zero versus Jack's fight is phenomenal. It's shot very well,
Yeah,
choreographed very well. Um, Six tours, motherfucker, is another dumb line that Jack says. You can be the most hardened veteran. You're not winning against Sub-Zero. I don't
yeah,
care who you are. Uh, let's see. Not giving Melina her disgusting mouth with her mask hiding it for a cool reveal later on was a mistake. Also, her lack of color palette is disappointing. She feels like a throwaway grunt wearing all black.
and no, like I don't know, I didn't see it, but no, like kind of like the Tarkatans, like no
Her
Easter
mouth
egg.
does split open.
Yeah, but like and like there's no Kitana, there's no reference to
Yeah.
her being a clone of Kitana. There's no like oh like you don't even see like Tarkatans in the background.
Yeah,
Like
like
you don't
there's no
even see
reference
them.
to the Tarkatans.
Yeah, you don't even see them right now. Also, one more thing is that in the Sub Zero fight, Sub Zero and Scorpion Sub Zero, he does the ice clone,
Oh yeah, yeah, he does
which
it.
was
It's
pretty cool.
very, very quick though.
Yeah. All right.
Um, let's see. We talked about that one. Talked about that one. Talked about that one. Talked
Oh.
about that one. Liu Kang was walking through the desert and randomly comes across Sonya, Kano, and Cole. Makes no sense, but you kind of explained it earlier. Most movie locations and props look damn good, except for that one that's in Raiden's temple. Looks like something out of a. There's like an electric coil. It looks like it's made out of plastic or rubber.
Yeah.
You pointed it out during the film.
Yeah.
Raiden's temple is way too easy to break into. Using Arcana to explain why characters have strange abilities is dumb as shit. Just give them their powers.
Yeah. Which we explained already.
Yeah, I talked about that one. Costume design is pretty good. Shang Tsung, who's Chinese, looks Chinese. Like I guess armor. His armor is very Chinese in origin.
And it does have like the
Uh,
faces on it, so it kind of matches the soul sucking that he does.
yeah, and his shoulders actually have like food dogs, which are real big in Asian culture.
Also, it would have been cool to see them kind of deceive Liu Kang by turning into Kung Lao.
Yeah, that would have been cool. It might
But
happen in the future.
also, the black smoke, I'm not really a fan of. I would have been like okay with the dark green,
Yeah, like a
but
green portal or whatever. Anyways, costume design is pretty good. Liu Kang has like 3 or 4 outfits in this movie, which is pretty nice to see that someone actually has an outfit change. Uh, Liu Kang versus Kano training scene is brilliant, with Liu Kang spamming the sweep attack and Kano using the vertical jump from the games. You know when you just like hit the jump command, you jump straight up.
yeah. Also, Liu Kang does the bicycle kick.
He does a bicycle kick. Jack seeing Arcana for his arms is dumb. Just give him his cool arms. I talked about that one. Cole is literally a punching bag. He gets the crap beat out of him the entire film, even when he gets his Arcana.
But he still beats Goro though, like no problem.
My next gripe is about Goro. Prince Goro, who defeated the Great Kung Lao, has remained undefeated for about 500 years or so, is defeated by a complete nobody, Cole. He actually, so that's when Cole gets his armor, and it covers everything except for his head, and Goro continues to punch him in the head, but like it doesn't affect him at all. Cabal is cool as hell. I just don't like his voice. Talked about Reiko. Talked about Natara. During the Goro fight, Cole's wife goes to help Cole with a fire axe, which hurts Prince Goro, which is dumb. Pace in the movie is all over the place. It's pretty slow in the beginning, and then it ramps up and like ends real quickly.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we gotta go. We
Uh,
gotta get this on HBO Max quick.
Cole's Arcana makes no sense. He's shown to be able to absorb body blows and transfer the power to his fist. He only does that once with an uppercut. And then for no reason, he's given sharp tonflas.
So like, what's the point?
And yeah, and he never does. Yeah, he could absorb the blows and like transfer it to power again later, but he doesn't. Another nice detail: the band around Kung Lao's hat becomes Liu Kang's headband.
That was
I
pretty
thought that
cool.
was a real nice touch.
Yeah.
This is the stage fatality thing, and Kano's eye short circuits, even though it's not mechanical yet.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Have him be like, chemicals in my eye, I gotta close it. You know, like any normal person. But that's about it. That's all I got.
He did get a gnome in it.
Yeah.
So overall, it's not bad. But we've seen worse video game adaptation movies. King of Fighters.
A little extra.
Sorry about that. I'm doing share play. So Robert's gonna give it 2 ratings.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it two types of ratings. But I'll let you go first.
Overall, it's not a bad movie. As I said before, we've seen bad ones. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
All right. On a normal like dumb action scale, like action movie scale, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. On a Mortal Kombat scale, like going based off of every other Mortal Kombat media, I'm giving this a 2 out of 10.
I give it 6 on both because it it did stay. It did give it a good spin. Like all the characters looked the same. All the characters did do what they're Mortal Kombat characters, so everything kind of fit. Sonya Blade looked like Sonya
Yeah.
Blade. Jax looked like Jax. Sub Zero looked like Sub Zero. Scorpion looked like Scorpion. Goro looked phenomenal. Cabal looked badass.
Cabal looked great. Goro looked
Kano
great.
Kano was by far the top tier 10 out of 10 badass.
Kano was a 10 out of 10 in this movie.
Even though Reptile didn't get what I wanted, he still looked pretty
Yeah.
good. The acid effect was really good too.
Yep.
Nitara, even for her being just a random jobber, like she's just a jobber in the games as well. Looked good.
Yeah.
Kung Lao looked good. Liu Kang looked good. They all looked like how they were supposed to look. The vibe of it was still there. A little dumb with the markings, but that's fine. There were there wasn't a stage fatalities, but there were common
There
stages.
were classic fatalities.
Yeah, there were classic
Then
fatalities.
stages.
They were moved. They did their best to try to put it in. If they had enough time and they would have gone like the Snyder Cut route where they could have given it a little bit more time, I say this would have worked a lot better as a TV series. That could have been an
It
HBO
would've.
Max exclusive TV series. That would have been perfectly fine. 6 out of 10 for both, for the fighting, the effects, and it being close to a Mortal Kombat movie. Definitely better than Annihilation. Definitely, I want to say a bit better than the original Mortal Kombat movie. Because
Oh no, we're gonna fight.
no, because the original Mortal Kombat movie had Scorpion Sub-Zero as a team. That's it. They were a team. They had a bunch of other fighters showing up to the arena that didn't really get an explanation. Shang Tsung was good. Raiden was whitewashed. Raiden was just, whatever. And
Raiden doesn't need to be Asian.
I think in the second one he says Chang Tsung because I think you pointed it out that James Remar
Yes,
says
I was watching.
Chang Tsung.
Yeah, I was watching Annihilation. He says Chang Sung. I love James Remar.
And so there was that, but in the first one by its standards was pretty good. Even when like the bicycle kick, Reptile looked pretty good. Um, the motivations that it didn't follow the game as well, but then again, there wasn't really much to go off of, so there wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of lore to go with it. That's why I give it a slightly a. I don't knock Mortal Kombat. There was some liberties taken for it because they had to work with what they had.
Yeah,
So I'm putting it slightly. I'm giving
above average.
I'm giving the Mortal Kombat movie a 4 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
So it's good. It still holds a special place in my heart. It holds a special place there. However, I have to give it to Mortal Kombat being a little bit more out there because the only thing that was off about the movie was the writing. That's it.
The writing is the most important part.
If it had a slightly above better writing where things were delivered a little bit well, I wasn't even mad about Cole Young being a random jobber. Like
Yeah, I like Cole Young as a brand new character.
yeah, I like to see him as us
they would've
living
changed a couple
vicariously
things,
through like us living vicariously through Cole Young to see everyone else. Everyone else was perfect. Everyone did who they were supposed to do. I would wish that maybe they put a little bit more effort and add a few Tarkans. If they added hinted the fact there were other fighters there, like it would have been like Ray could have been like, well, what about the others? And like, well, the others are gonna stay behind. We don't need them because look at these, look at what they have to offer. That'd have been perfectly fine. So, but the outfits, everything, everybody's origins, the swap with Hanzo being Scorpion being Earthrealm like fighter and Sub-Zero being a bad guy,
a villain. Yeah.
However, the dynamic still stays the same. They're still rivals. And
And
Bihan
it's actually
was
it
killed
sets
by.
up for Bihan being Noob Saibot.
Yeah, and it could have been like, well, why is Bihan black? Was because the flame scorched Sub Zero, so Sub Zero comes back as Noob Saibot, and that's the reason why he's
Mm-hmm.
black. And then this gets back to Lin Kuei, and Kuai Liang's like, well, what happened?
Yeah, he's
Like,
gonna want revenge and be like,
like
oh,
like Kuai Liang doesn't have to be Sub Zero's brother. Like, his Sub Zero's been around for a very long time.
he could just be like a student training under under
Or
Bihan.
he could have been a descendant, just like how Ko Young
Yeah, or
was a
descendant.
descendant of Scorpion. Kuai Liang could be
Mm-hmm.
a descendant of Sub Zero, and then you could add Smoke as his partner, and how
Yeah,
they show up and they do their thing. Prince Goro is gone, so Shiva's gonna want to try to take over. But then
or
Kentaro's like, no,
Kentaro.
like, no, fuck that. You're gonna have to fight me. And they're like, Shing's like, if you want the guy who killed Goro, his name is Ko Young. He's like, you can fight him, and then they can like clone another Melina because she comes out of like the flesh pits as another
Yeah,
Melina, so you can bring her back along with with Baraka. There's a lot of room for improvement, and this thing opens up a bunch of
there's
avenue. That's the reason why I give it a
there's so
6
many
out of 10.
characters.
They can definitely do it better. It's not the best, but it's not the worst.
Yeah,
So, and it does follow the lore of Mortal Kombat, even if it does take some liberties. And I've said before that it's a lot boring to follow it exactly because
yeah, it doesn't have to be a copy and paste.
you know what's gonna happen. However, with some liberties taken for the movie, it's perfectly fine. If it was the game, I would expect it to follow the lore to the T. But since it's a movie, it's perfectly fine. I'm okay
You're
with it.
gonna make me record so much more footage.
No, I'm just gonna kind of like copy and like
Oh,
move
loop
around
it.
the foot. Yeah, I'm gonna loop it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right, what else you got?
That's about it. I'm still sticking to my guns. Uh, I have my grabs with it, but it's not a bad movie. If you enjoy dumb action, definitely give it a watch.
I do.
If you're a lore nerd like me, uh, shut off your brain and watch it.
It's the one of the lore. I coughed and I coughed. My back popped and I almost shit myself.
Oh no. But yeah, it's definitely worth watching still.
Yeah. But that's it for today's.
And actually,
Oh shit! You
uh,
scared me. Okay.
quick note: this is a first-time director, so he has a lot of time and room for growth.
I thought it was what's his face who does who directed Mortal Kombat?
Paul W. Sanderson.
Shut up. I'm gonna look it up
You
real
asked
quick.
who directed Mortal Kombat. Yeah, the director for this is a new director. That's about it.
Simon
Simon McQuaid.
McQuaid.
It's spelled weird, but that's how you pronounce it.
Okay, McQuaid. All right. Well then, I mean, if he listens to fan feedback, the only reason why I give this a better is because it does open a sequel.
Yeah, and I don't hate this movie. I'm not gonna hate on this movie. I just constructive criticism and all.
Yeah. All right.
I just have a harsher tone about it.
You gonna side jab me with another random thing?
No, that's about it.
All right then. Did I say Playcast when I opened up the episode?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll check. If not, I'm sorry, because like we do these whenever we have something to talk about. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's Playcast. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. And if you want to get on over here to our other playlists that we have, we can go ahead and check it out. There, we haven't done anything Mortal Kombat related, but that's because I want to
We'll
start
set
with
up time for it.
well, because a lot of games coming out. But I will eventually. I'm gonna do Mortal Kombat, and then Mortal Kombat 10, and then
Mortal Kombat
11.
X.
And then we'll go ahead and we'll take it from there. But all right, guys, we will see you next mission. Bye.
Oh,
What?
one more thing.
What?
Look forward to Spookies. Village is out.
Oh
We're
yeah,
doing it.
so, yeah, we're gonna do the Village. Yeah.
Jen, this is directed towards you.
Yeah. So see you next mission. Bye.
Bye.
Ah.